So how did the new king go down with Wales's political leaders when he met them? Earlier, I spoke to their leader, Wales's First Minister Mark Drakeford, to find out. And he revealed to me that the new king wore his heart on his sleeve during their conversation, making what appears to be his first political intervention of his reign, as Child voiced serious concerns about the cost of living crisis. I started by asking the First Minister what the king told him.
The king has always had a very direct interest in the things that are happening in contemporary Wales, the future of our agriculture, the impact of climate change. He mentioned the impact of the cost of living crisis and how that would impact on people here in Wales. So it was quite wide-ranging, but it was essentially about those things which he would have known about already and interested in how those things are being responded to here in Wales.
Very interesting that he mentioned the cost of living crisis, Mr. Drakeford. Clearly that's a huge concern to an awful lot of people at the moment. What did he say about it?
Well, he's concerned as to how people will manage through what is going to be a difficult winter. He was interested to tell me about some of the projects that he has heard of or become involved in, dealing, for example, with food waste, making sure that we don't waste a precious resource when some people might be going without. Interested, as always, in renewable energy generation here in Wales and how it might play a bigger part in future energy security.
The now King's investiture at Carnarvon Castle in 1969 was a huge event. We're just talking about the cost of living crisis there. Should the new Prince of Wales be slightly more scaled down, perhaps to match our slightly more difficult times?
Well, I certainly don't think that 1969 is a good guide for what should happen in 2022. Wales is a very different place. The nature of the monarchy has developed over that period. My message is that we shouldn't be in a rush about all of this. We should allow the new prince, as I say, to become familiar with his new responsibilities, develop the job in a way that will work for him and will work for Wales, and then we can think about how and whether there is a need for any further ceremonial underpinning of what has already been announced.
So you think there might have not even need to be a new ceremony at all?
Well, I think we need to have a debate about it and a discussion about it. There is no constitutional significance to the investiture. It's a bit of an invented tradition, and it doesn't change anything. It confirms somebody in that job, but they will already be doing it. And the decision is already made to have bestowed that title on a new prince. So I think we need, as I say, in slightly slower time, an opportunity for different views to be canvassed and for a relatively open-minded discussion about the best way to allow that new role to be developed and the new prince to feel he's ready to make the contribution I'm very sure he wants to make.
Final question, Mr. Drakeford, though. Your Republican views are principled, yet some might say you're reaffirming the whole principle of monarchy by participating so fully in days like today.
Yes, well, I can easily see that sort of criticism. But my assessment is that people in Wales expect their First Minister to take part in the sorts of events we've seen in Cardiff today. They expect a First Minister to be there reaffirming the importance of devolved government here in Wales and to reflect the views that they themselves would hold.
It's all a little bit, though, silly, isn't it? You know, an investiture, pomp and pageantry, it's not your sort of thing at all.
Oh, personally, it's not where I find myself attracted, but it matters to a lot of people. There were thousands of people here in Cardiff today, and in a difficult week for lots of people, I think it does provide a sort of framework for people which allows them, on the one hand, to deal with feelings of grief, but also to be able to look beyond this week to what might come in the future.
Mark Drakeford, First Minister of Wales, thank you so much for talking to me tonight. Appreciate your time.
Pleasure.